Good evening and welcome to another edition of Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil. I'm Jennings Bernard, your host. As always, you can catch me right here each and every day, Monday through Friday, from 5 to 6 p.m. Welcome in, welcome in. Tell a friend to tell a friend. I tell the truth and shame the devil is on the air. You know what we do here. We talk business, legal, social, finance, but most of all, we talk politics. Everything is politics, and politics is everything. Welcome in, welcome in. We hope you had a great weekend. We hope that all of your family members are safe and sound. And we're here to do and to live another day that God has sent us. And we thank Him for you and for myself and our family that all is well. And we would hope that all is well with all of you. But we live in Memphis, Tennessee, and that's kind of difficult. But since the law enforcement presence is here, and we see it here, I don't care what you say or anybody else say. There is a clear presence of the fact that crime is going down. We don't have politicians just putting out little flag that say crime is down and we know better. But you know the truth now that crime is tending to trend downward just a little bit. But we got a long way to go before we finally get to the peace, harmony, somewhat that we had in the city of Memphis. Again, I will always argue the fact that for those who say that they're not needed here, tragedy having came to your doorstep. And I say this without any hesitation or reservation that when it do happen, and it may happen, that you will be crying out, where is the National Guard? Where is the highway patrolman? Where is the U.S. Marshal? Where is the Sheriff's Department, the Police Department? Oh my God, they done killed my baby. Yeah, I can hear you. And then you turn around here and go get you a GoFundMe page when you have just thought for a moment, instead of me criticizing the individuals that are here trying to make a difference, instead of you criticizing or they're targeting certain people. And I've always noticed the black leadership, it's all about votes with them. They're more concerned about other races of people because they want to draw in a vote. But they really not caring about the black people that they represent. Or that matter, the citizens. They just want to focus on that block of individuals that they can sway over when it comes election time. That's all it's about when it comes to our black politicians. They want to know who can they sway over to get onto their side so they can be reelected. What do they want to be reelected for? The power, the so-called prestige, and the position. I want you to understand something. If you don't understand anything else I'm saying, it's not about you when it comes to our black politicians. Most, but not all. There are some who are trying to do what they can do, but then they get caught up in the good old boy situation and they can be persuaded to change their mind and go the other way, which is not a way of protecting you and looking out for you. See, that 30 pieces of silver is a powerful thing when it comes to our black politicians. I also, and I will always say, be very mindful of that politician that look like you and I, and I'm talking to the black community, that gets thousands and millions of dollars to run for an office when the majority of this community, when it comes to votes, are African Americans. So if we can give the money to these handkerchief head Negroes that we can buy like we used to buy our ancestors, slaves on the block, we can buy them right now with 30 pieces of silver to the tune of millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they bought them lock, stock, and barrel. And when they buy them, do you think you're going to get the representation that you deserve in the black community, North and South Memphis? No, ma'am. No, sir. You do not. Drive down your streets and look at the potholes. Drive in your community and look at the blight. But again, as I say, and I will continue to remind you of it, go out east and see who's getting the real representation. I'm Jennings Bernard. Welcome in, welcome in. And first of all, before we get started here, I want to ask you to subscribe. Many of you, you enjoy listening and hearing what I got to say because you come on, and we always check the numbers. Last month, to the tune of 67,000 people, may have been nationwide, but there's a lot of them within Memphis, Tennessee. And even if you're nationwide, you have the opportunity to subscribe as well. Go and push the button at the bottom of this video and subscribe. If you enjoyed it, if it's knowledge for you, show your appreciation by subscribing to this program. And then after you do that, you can go over, we're building this communication platform for you. If you're from Memphis and you live somewhere else, we're going to bring this platform up to you and for you to know what's going on in your city, although you live in Dallas, although you live in New York, Chicago. You'll be able to get all of what you need to know about your hometown. And those individuals who are not a part of Memphis can know something about Memphis. We're going to get on this our website, and we're putting everything in every category that you need. We're going to put it out there about restaurants and other things, entertainment and news media, sports. We're putting it all out there so you can have everything at your fingertips. So subscribe to Facebook and then go over to the website. The website is memphisrealtalk.com. That was the name of the show when I was on the radio. But I took it and made it a part of the website to refresh your memory and the things that we was doing back then. So when you go to the website, there's a donation button down at the back. Push that donation, no matter how small or how large. We welcome it all. You have an opportunity to help us build this platform. Excuse me. And when we build this platform, we're building this platform for you. And long after I'm gone, I hope to create this platform to the point that somebody else will be sitting in this chair talking to you about telling the truth and shaming these devils that you elect and put in office. They're devils. They're devils. They're taking the 30 pieces of silver and not representing you. That is the problem. So if you would do that for me, subscribe on Facebook. Make a donation on memphisrealtalk.com. Well, I appreciate you. I thank you. And we'll remind you that if you haven't done it, every time we come on, we're going to remind you that because we appreciate you. And I hope that you appreciate this platform and what we're doing. So we're asking you to subscribe on Facebook and make a donation on memphisrealtalk.com. Let's get into it. Uh, More people was killed this weekend. People have been arrested, and there's a couple of categories that I really want to deal with in immigration and ICE. And I'm hearing people just talk about that, uh, that they're targeting folks. And what is the difference? And I'm going to ask you this. In a criminal breaking the law, and having a warrant on him. The police stop him for speeding, and they find out he got a warrant, and they lock him up. Matter of fact, at the sheriff department for 12 years. I was a part of the fugitive division. Did that for 12 years. Traveled out of town, pick up people with warrants from Chicago to New York to California to Green Bay, uh, wherever they was when they committed a crime and left. I was one on one, along with my partner. We went and picked them up and brought them back because they had broken the law and they had warrants on them. What is the difference than that and an individual who is in this country illegal? Now, I said to you before, I feel sorry for the fact that they have family here. They came in illegal. They broke the law. There's no difference if a warrant is there for them for breaking the law by coming into this country illegally. And I feel sorry for the fact that they have established for years and never got caught in regard to breaking the law. There are fugitives right now that are out there with warrants that the sheriff department had that haven't gotten caught. And I remember the incident, I never will forget it, that a guy we picked up, he was over in the old Bluff City Hotel. It was right there by where the French Quarter was, that community. There was a hotel that sit there right by the river. And somebody called the fugitive squad and told us that there was a man who had been hiding from the law for quite a length of time. He was charged with murder, first degree murder. And they told us he was over in that hotel, gave us the room. And as a result of that, we went over to that hotel, got the hotel manager to call him down from the room. And when he came to the desk, we presented ourselves as detectives with the fugitive squad. Are you so and so, so and so? He said, yes, sir. I said, well, we got a warrant here. And all of those years he dodged in Chicago. But he came back to Memphis, and and I remember this, and we talked to him. He said, I know who turned me in. I said, well, I don't know who turned you in. All I have is this warrant. He said, oh, my old girlfriend I used to mess with. Matter of fact, she wasn't too long left here in this hotel room me before y'all came. He said, nobody else knew I was in town. She lured me to come back to see her in town. So I came down and, they got friendly with each other. I guess when she got through, she went and picked up the phone and called on him, and he was arrested because they alleged that he had murdered someone. But to make a long story short, when he went to trial, he was found not guilty. He ran for years, and when he was finally caught up, it was something he said that, man, I know I'm kind of glad that y'all finally got me because this bit on my shoulder, on my back. Although I was living in Chicago, I wondered if it was ever going to be a knock on the door. But now I got to deal with it. And now I'm here to go to stand up and throw me the words. He did and found not guilty. Never will forget that. So I said all of that to simply say, if you're illegal in this country, based on our laws in this country, you are a criminal who has broken the laws of these United States. And again, you say, Bernard, you have no compassion. I have compassion. But I've been in law enforcement so long that I understand what laws are for, and they are there to protect you. Some say that, well, they are adding to society. Yes, some of them are. Most of them may be taking jobs that others don't want. But what's wrong with coming into the country the right way? If you love America, if you want to be a part of it, why not do it the right way? I know some people who have did it for 2 years, went through all of the rules and regulations, and now they are citizens of these United States. And then the fact that you were here for over 20 years and you never ever tried to enter into this country legally, my thing is you broke the law. And a lot of you all, individuals who are here whining, you politicians, about what the job is being done on behalf of the citizens of this community. See, you're a weak person as a leader when you can't stand up because you want the votes, and the votes are what you're more concerned about than what's right versus what's wrong. You want to play politics, and that's when I say politicians that we have today are weak. They are boys trying to do a man job, and I've said that all the time. And you see the situation that we're in, and I ask you to tell me one administration that have really done something in the last 50 years or more to make Memphis better. It's always been one administration after the other, get it, hit it, and quit it. Get that money quick as you can, fast as you can, and get out. And then the next administration comes in and won't even address what the previous administration done, and we still run into a hole, a deficit every year. See, if you're going to be the head of the law, peace, and supposedly harmony, but you don't care about it, you lied when you swore and held your hand up and say, I swear to solemnly swear that I will defend the Constitution of the United States or the Constitution of the laws of Memphis, Tennessee. You lied because you're not defending it, you're just passing the torch on to the next good old boy who fall down and kiss the feet of the power that be. We need men, we need women who are strong enough to stand up and not pollute our community with their votes, because they'll be going on and then our children will have to deal with the situation in Memphis, Tennessee because of poor leadership that we have in 2025. Soon will be 2026, where you can make a difference in this community if you decide to stand up and be a man. But it's hard to make a boy be a man because he hasn't grown into manhood yet. The same thing as a woman. It's hard for a girl to be a woman because she hadn't grown into becoming a woman. She don't know the ills and the ups and downs of being a woman, nor do he know it as a man. But yet we keep putting these people in office. And whose fault is it? Your conditions in your community is your fault because you didn't do your homework, you didn't stand up, you didn't speak up, and this is where you are right now in the midst of a city that is in chaos because you played the sorority thing, you played the fraternity thing, you played. Now I'm looking at it and I'm going to talk about that. I told you the Masons are not what they used to be. And now individuals running for office now becoming Masons just to get the Masons behind them. Don't give a hoot about who the Masons are and what they used to stand for. When I became one in 1978, it was a whole different crop of people, individuals, who put the community first. But the Masons, and I'm one, 33rd degree. But here we are in a position now that we are becoming exactly what the little bird left on the limb. And the politicians that are becoming Masons, not because of what Masons mean to this community and to the people, what they used to mean. They're coming for politics and vote. See, we got to wake up and start realizing no matter who you are, you got to be worthy to be in the office. I'm hearing so many people are going to be running next year in 2026. That what experience do they have in the position that they're going to be running for? You don't know because you don't do your homework. Some have been around, some are good people. But what experience do you have? What can you bring to the table? You see what your Tammy Sawyer is doing? You see she don't have anything to bring to the table. She want to act a fool like she's still a elementary school girl or a junior high school girl having tantrum all over the place, and people are looking. See, Robin Harris used to say, and it's something I used to like. He said, "Gotta go, gotta go," and that's what some of our politicians they got to go. So they got to go. Come 2026, you need to take them out because you know they're not doing anything that's going to make a difference in your life. So let them go. Let them go and do whatever they want to do if they know what to do, other than being a jackleg politician. We got judges that are in position using their influence to get a person a job who was a criminal slash thief. Let me put it like that, because he was never convicted, but he took the money. We have a judge who sits in a bench and judge people every day, but have the mentality to help a thief get a job. And that's a story we're going to tell you about that later on. I'm gathering the receipts on that. But it don't make sense to me, ladies and gentlemen. Why do you think like that? Or does it make any difference to you? You get the I don't give a hoot attitude. I know her, or I know him, been around a long time. You know, something that you all got to realize. Do you know you all are making individuals, I wouldn't say wealthy, rich, but they can sit back in the easy chair while you struggling trying to make ends meet. You giving them cushion retirement where they can just sit back and look at the blue sky because they hoodwinked you, they bamboozled you, they ran amok over you, and you believed it, and now they sitting back with their legs crossed in their rocking chair, going on vacation off of your dime, off of your taxpayers' money. Never had what we call a decent job. They've been politicking all their life. We had some politicians stayed in there until they died. Stayed in there over 30, 40 years. We got a politician right now, Steve Cohen, drive around in Congress on a scooter. Can't hold his thoughts right now. But he's saying he the best thing since a slice of bread. In other words, nobody else in the community in the 9th Congressional District is worthy but him. But what can he do? What has he done? But eat a box of Kentucky Fried Chicken in Congress trying to make a point. And if you look at that picture of him eating the Kentucky Fried Chicken, and the people that's in the back of him, they laughing at him. And they probably laughing at the people in the 9th Congressional District. What kind of people send a man to Congress that's sitting up there in the halls of Congress with a big box of Kentucky Fried Chicken with the Colonel Sanders for facing the community? Now, me, the way I look at it, what if? I ain't even saying that's the point, but what if? That was a commercial for Kentucky Fried Chicken. Why didn't you turn Colonel Sanders the other way? You had his picture of fright front and center. What if it was a commercial? Y'all think about that. I'm not saying it was, I'm just saying what if. Because Kentucky Fried Chicken got more coverage nationally than any other franchise. Because he was sitting there in Congress trying to make a point eating the chicken and people still laugh about it. It's on my Facebook page. You can go see the picture if you desire to. And this is what I say. I'm getting sick and tired of being sick and tired of people playing games with the American people and the people in the city of Memphis. And let's not mention nationally. But see, all politics began locally. If you stop it at home, you can stop it in the street. If you teach your children the right way, as opposed to them going out doing it the wrong way, if you teach them the right way, we wouldn't have the crime that we have in the city. If you attack the politics locally and get these politicians to understand that you have to represent us, and if you don't, we're taking you out of politics because we're going to vote you out of office. I'm Jennings Bernard. You're listening to Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil. Tell a friend to tell a friend that we are on air Monday through Friday from 5 to 6 p.m. for your pleasure, for your understanding, for your guidance. And we simply ask you to be a part of this program. And I would love to have you to be a part. I love you. I appreciate you to make a difference, not only for myself and for you. I don't know if they put the SNAP benefits on now, but what about the people that need the SNAP? If they don't have it on their card, we into the third day of the first of this month. When will Congress wake up? The Democrats said they're not going to do this, and the Republicans said they're not going to do that. But who's suffering? Because they still getting their checks. They'll tell you, I will not accept the check. But guess what? You accept it once it's over with. That means you got all that back. You say you're not going to accept it, but you still the part of the people here. The part of the state. So we have a problem all over, locally and nationally. But we can solve this problem, ladies and gentlemen, if you just decide that you're going to make a difference. So let's stop for a minute and let's get into some of these political offices that will be coming up on next year. The sheriff department is one. You got some individuals that are qualified, in my opinion. Some will be coming on this show and we'll talk to you. But if you look at the sheriff you have now, when do you ever hear from him about anything? Sometimes people ask, where's your Sheriff Floyd Bonner? But then all of a sudden he emerges and comes out. How many deaths have occurred in this jail? And we just had another one just a week ago. man in the jail on minor charges and find out that he passed away in jail. TBI investigated. Did he die of natural causes? Or what happened? They said 200 inmates are lined up in intake, sleeping on the floor. But we don't hear the day-to-day comments in regard to Floyd Bonner. You got his carbon copy of himself coming out, Anthony Buckner, trying to talk to you and trying to push him onto you at the next sheriff. If he's a carbon copy of Floyd Bonner, we don't need an Anthony Buckner. That's in my opinion. Being someone who worked for the sheriff department for many years and understand how promotions are just given out like candy on Halloween. People who are not really deserving it and don't understand it. But if you're a good old boy, put up signs, politics for them. It's not what you know, ladies and gentlemen, it's who you know in this town, in this county. But you all don't think. You don't say anything until it's your son or your daughter that went to the county jail or jail lease and died while they was in there. Oh, it's a big thing. I worry about everybody that's in that jail. And when I worked in the jail for the first 5 years of my career, I always said to the inmates that you are a man and I'm going to treat you like a man when you act like a man. Now, if you want to act like a child, then we're going to treat you like you're a child. But as long as you act like a man, and a man can be appreciated even if he's incarcerated, if he act like a man, it is your job as an officer to make sure. Now, keep this in mind. At the time, we had a lot of individuals who were deputy sheriffs in the jail. And what we had to do, and I worked midnight shift for many years. In my tenure in that jail, the old county jail, we had to walk, as we call the catwalk. We walked through that catwalk every 15 minutes of an 80-hour shift, looking, shining flat light within the cell to make sure everything was okay. We made that walk. It was our job to make that walk. But now you don't have enough people in the jail to make the walk. So what do you don't do? What do you think will happen when individuals are not being monitored? Because you have one or two people trying to run a whole flow. They call you on there. Bernard. Yes, sir. Yeah, man, what you man doing for Thanksgiving? Oh, look here, man, I'm doing my show. What we doing for Thanksgiving? I don't know. I have to check with her when we get off air. Oh, I'm sorry, Bernard. No. I looked at the time. That daylight, hey, that boy come out today in Nashville. That's what I'm trying to find out, Joy. Have you heard anything about what they decided in that lawsuit? No, huh? Okay, I'm trying to look and run the show. I'm trying to see if anything pops up on the screen as it relates to. If anybody out there know that what the judges decided in regard to the lawsuit that the city of Memphis and the county filed against the governor to remove the National Guard, I don't believe they're going to be successful because you ain't going to go against the governor of the state of Tennessee where you got to go into a courtroom within the state of Tennessee. it, yeah, you're right. It don't make sense. But Ms. Joy, while I got you on here, tell me a little bit, what's on your mind? What do you think about what's going on as it relates to the guards? You know, we talk all the time in regard to issues in this community. And you know, me and you go back and forth and we have different opinions. And I respect your opinion, you respect mine. We often say we can disagree without being disagreeable, but I got you on the spot right now. I got all of my listeners all over the country now that are listening to you right now. Tell me, what do you think when people say, man, Memphis out of control? Man, they got the National Guards there. People are dying every day before the National Guards got there. And wow, it's not as bad as it used to be. But these people in Memphis are saying they don't want the guards there. What is your opinion?
No, I think it's just it's just a certain segment of the city. But but you don't see the guard doing anything. All they do is ride around in cars and wave at you, take pictures with them. If they were doing something constructive, you know, far as eliminating crime, I think they would be satisfied. But I think it's a waste of talent and money
Well, let me ask you this.
to have them here.
Well, let me ask you
That's
this.
where I look at it.
Well, I understand your point. I can appreciate that. But what would you have them to do when they tie their hands? Our local politicians say, we don't want them to interact with the people. We want the police and the sheriff department to do it. We just want them here. I used to call it being here for parades, just standing around doing nothing, because
Right.
you want them. See, you got to go back to the leadership, George, and understand the problem is the National Guard. They just want them to be seen and don't go. And I had to explain a moment ago. If you break the law, and they're talking about ICE and the Hispanic community, and all of a sudden the black community is concerned, the black leadership now is concerned about the Hispanic, and nobody's concerned about the black community because they want them votes from the Hispanic community.
That's right. That's right.
Come election day. So what do you have them to do when their hands are tied, George?
But I have been in that. I have been in that the same situation that they are. But we were overseas, so
Right.
we had a different. We had a different agenda overseas. Overseas,
Mm-hmm.
we was Panama side. They was gonna take the canals on back.
Okay.
So we had the they said we had four combat units. Four.
Okay. Uh-huh.
And they put every one of them units, every one of us was down there with M16.
Okay.
Everyone. And they didn't believe that we would shoot, you know. But we had to show them.
Mm-hmm.
But now, I think what people see now, some people say, I think the city is safe from them being here. But what needs to happen is they need to take the National Guard. If they're going to use the National Guard, if they're going to use them,
Mm-hmm.
put them in, just spread them out, let them be open, just ride around. You ride around. Because the people going to feel, if they see them out just riding around, they gonna call that, if they're doing something and feel safe. So, for me personally, now, I'm surprised that I'm saying it. I really feel since this thing started, it seems like the city is safer. I'm beginning to see that.
Oh, really?
You know,
Yeah,
that's the way I feel.
yeah,
The city is safer.
yeah, and I would say you 100% right because them same criminals, George, you got to keep this in mind. Them same criminals that used to ride while we and I was sleeping, breaking into people's cars and breaking into people's businesses, you don't see that.
Right, but you know what's working, Bernard? It's the threat.
Mm, okay.
All of it is the threat. See, the common criminal, they don't know the job of National Guard. They really think the National Guard is going to come and get them. If you just present a threat and people understand a threat and their whole mindset changes, well, I'm not going to go out there breaking no house. The National Guard might get me.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
And that's and I can see it was me. I would have those guys just ride around just to put on a show a force, show a force all through. wherever the high crime rate is in the city.
You know what I would do, George? I would do what they did in April 4th, 1968. They put them out there. They was if you broke the law, they jack you up. You know, and the bottom line is we're being too lenient. You know, they look like the criminal has more rights now than you and I, who have both served in the military, who
Yeah,
both
you're 100% correct.
they get away with it. You know, you violate their civil rights, you violated their state rights, their city rights, but yet you sitting here and you tell me, and check this out. Now, God forbid, I hope no one ever try to break in this house and they tell me that you can't shoot them.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm telling you point blank right now. If you come up in here and I have an opportunity to mess you up from the floor up, I'm gonna do that because my family is more important than you breaking in my house.
No, I feel the same way. I feel the same way. And if I see him come by your house, if I can see him shooting at your house, they come down in this thing and turn around. But no, I'm gonna do my best to light them up.
Man, listen, you know what we
I'm
do?
gonna light them up. You know, they were shooting, but now they're gonna shoot at me. I'll light them up. They come out and make that turn.
Well, my thing is,
Yeah.
you know, that when it comes down to my safety, your safety, I think we have the right to defend our home. We have the right. We have the right to bear arms, and if you have the right to bear arms, you ought to have the right to defend yourself. Now, when they go to saying, "Well, you can't do anything as it relates to property," you know, sometimes people work all of their lives to gather what property they have, and a joker turn around and take that property from them. To me, that wants you mad enough to do something to them. But that law says you can't do anything to them. So what is that? You're protecting the criminal as opposed to protecting me or you or anybody else. I just have a problem with that.
Yeah, nah, I mean, you know, but nah, brother, but it's embedded in the Constitution. But you know the sad thing about it?
What's that?
Seems like the Constitution it was written to protect the criminal. Yeah, they give them the criminal all these rights. You know, so you know, you tell me you gonna walk up in my house and pick up something out of my house. I'm gonna watch you do it. No, brother, that don't work that way.
Well, let me ask you a question here, and we was talking about that a little bit uh, about the death that is occurring. You worked out at the penal farm for many years after you did, as we say, a career over 20 years in the army. You were the first sergeant, weren't
you? Right.
Okay, first sergeant in the army, and now you worked out there after you retired. You worked out there at the penal farm. You retired from
18
there.
years, yeah, 18 years.
18 years out there. Did you see as many deaths in the penal farm that we having in the sheriff department in 201 Pop?
No, and I tell you why.
Okay.
Tell you why. When the inmate comes to the penal farm, he is screaming for whatever condition that he has, and the penal farm makes sure that man gets the same medicine that he was getting on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
They have to provide the same medicine to him that he was getting on the outside. Now, in the jail now, it does not make sense. Our inmate check in at 201 Poplar.
Mm-hmm.
201 Poplar. And he goes and lays down and dies.
Right.
That means that he was not being taken care of properly medically.
Mm-hmm.
It's the medicine. I'm telling you, they hire these old companies that are old companies here, and they hire anybody. You know, they hire anybody. If an inmate want to go on sick call, say I'm sick, well, tell your sergeant and write it up. You know.
Right.
You know, we have him that they
Okay.
If it's more than one fencing, he'll take his shot. Now after he takes his shot, he's supposed to go right and eat. I don't care what dorm or building he come out of. I don't care who's in them. Down and getting, don't care who they're feeding.
Mm-hmm.
But they want this man to go back to his building, and his building might be the last one that's feeding. If that man take that insulin shot and then don't go eat anything, he's gonna crash.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Okay.
gonna crash. Now who do you think they're gonna hold accountable? Who do you think they're gonna hold accountable?
Who did?
They're gonna hold me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was in charge of that medical unit. And I had to fight them guys. I had to go literally get the inmate. I said, man, look, don't put your hand on me. Don't trust me. I get that inmate and I take him down there to the dining facility and get him a plate. I put him in the front of the line, everybody, and give him a plate.
Well, look, what about this fact that you all out there, it seems like y'all attract more officers to work at the Pilgrim Farm than the sheriff department do at the 201. What is the difference between the Pilgrim Farm, in your opinion, and the sheriff department?
None. They got to meet the same requirements. But Bernard, I'm telling you, Bernard, it's hard to recruit here in Shelby County for people to work at the Pilgrim Farm at the jail.
Okay.
We got a graduation class of one year.
What?
One person out of 240 applications. But now we got one person. One.
That was qualified to work.
Was qualified.
Man.
And we were made, and we told them, well, we're gonna cancel this class because we had, no, they went downtown and complained to, I forgot his name. He covers the pig farm. He went down there and them folks called out there and told us, you gotta train that woman, and you gonna train that woman, and you gonna graduate her. Cause it's her, cause you said you come and fill out an application, and there's a class gonna be started. There's a class gonna be started on such and such a day, and that's why she came, and you gotta do that class.
Well, let me ask you something. Is the pay, as far as you know, is the pay between the sheriff department and the Pilgrim Farm, is it different? One like
Yeah, it's big difference. It's a big difference. You make more money working at jail than at the pig farm.
you make.
It's a big difference. Not that they cut the pay. I think out there now, I think the average person might make 16 dollars an hour. You know, that's what they might weigh. But look at the money they take home. Now for overtime, some of them just roll about that $2,400 pay period. Because the number of hours they have to work because you can't find the people. You know, you have to open that thing up to the state of Tennessee that you're hiring people for the jail and people for that correctional center. Something it's just not. I mean, either they got an R9 number or they can't pass the drug test.
Well, let me go back to a point you made here, and I want to get my listeners to be clear on what you were saying. I want to understand this. When you basically saying that when you all had individual who was diabetic and they needed insulin, y'all had the cafeteria or something open for them to actually eat something after they take the shot.
Right, we had a sack lunch.
Okay, a sack. Okay, so a sack lunch would give them something to eat when they took their shot. Now, let me ask you.
They had something sweet in there.
Okay.
An apple, you know, it had something sweet in it.
Okay, so
that's to keep them from bothering out at night.
So what? So in your opinion, I mean, just we're talking here. In your opinion, I'm asking the question that do you think a lot of those individuals that may be dying and I don't want you to make the call, but I'm just throwing this out. Could they have perhaps been insulin dependent or diabetic and just died in their sleep, the way you explained it out there?
Well, that's a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
That's a possibility.
Okay.
Or either he was epileptic, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was on his medication, and at that jail, they wouldn't give it to him, you know.
It's a lot of different reasons, and I'm just saying to me, when you come down to taking on a job as a sheriff, I
Right.
believe it's your job to
Yep.
make and stay on top of it. And
I agree.
like I told you, George, I don't know how y'all did it out there, but at least every 15 minutes we had to walk that catwalk. And we had,
That's what you got to do.
and if walking that catwalk, they couldn't do too much within that period of time you make that walk because you've been going in that circle and you're watching and they know you coming by and they'll probably unless they time you and say, okay, he made this walk, it took him about so many minutes to get back around here. We'll try to do this, that, other. A lot of them got caught. A lot of them got rolled up, because of that. And I just think when you're short on personnel in a jail facility, you're gonna have people dying like that. But it's at the rate of the people that are dying in that jail, I still say it comes, and I believe this. It begins at the top.
I agree with you 100%.
And I believe
If the top don't care, if the top don't care, the man at the bottom don't care.
Yeah, yeah.
He don't care.
Exactly.
It's just that simple.
Yeah.
I mean, now you got a medical personnel work for you.
Mm-hmm.
What you need to do, you need to go in there and you need to know that you need to know that the rules and everything that what they work on.
Mm-hmm.
You have to know that. You have to know that. And it's your job to ensure that medical director over there, he's following those rules. And I can bet you any money you want to bet. The man at the medical director, he don't give a damn.
Well, like I said, this when I was in the jail, and then we moved from the old jail to the new jail. I remember the chief jailers. I remember the sheriffs used to come through there and walk that catwalk. You would be in there, and you would be in there walking that catwalk, and you look up, and Gene Barksdale, God rest his soul, he would be standing there looking at you, and you would go, "Wow, this is the sheriff." He coming around. He'll say, "Officer Bernard, how's that thing going? Everything going fine, sheriff." And that to me showed that individual that came out of his office on the ninth floor to come around and see if everything was going.
There you go. If that person don't see their supervisor, they going unsupervised.
Mm-hmm.
But I tell you, when we had Mother Luster out there, man, you didn't have no medical when he was out there.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody was scared of him. They didn't want no fucker. He would eat your tail up.
Mm-hmm.
But and he walked around and he looked. Why is that inmate? Why does this inmate don't have his medicine? He bring that inmate to me. Why? Mr. Long, why this inmate don't have his medicine? He started, wait a minute, sir, wait. No, we don't have to go there. Now, let me take a look and pull his record and see why he don't have his medicine.
Mm-hmm.
I pull his medicine, pull his chart, and he refused his medication. For the past 14 days, he refused his medication. He refused it.
Mm-hmm.
But when he went to London, he would tell him, hey, I ain't had my medication such time.
Mm-hmm. So if they refused that medicine, you couldn't force the medicine on them.
He put him in a situation where he had to take it.
Yeah, I understand. You don't need to say anything else.
You're not going to. I'm carrying no medication.
Excuse me.
At 4 o'clock in the morning, you gonna tell me you ain't gonna take it? No, bro, that's not gonna work now.
No. Yeah.
That's not gonna work.
Well, so what you're saying, and I'm understanding, with the sheriff department, the sheriff and others, they are dropping the ball when you find people are dying in the jail because they really don't have the concern that a Mark looks through and others that I've had, that I've
Right.
known that really cared about that, and they would walk that, they'd come up on you and on the midnight shift. That's what I work now. The midnight shift. Man, they should be at home sleeping. They're walking in that jail at 3 o'clock in the morning, and they should be at home in the bed, but they up there making sure everything okay up here. But yet he may not come in until about 10 o'clock the next day to his office, but it's still he was up coming around with concern. We don't have that concern with the sheriff Floyd Bonner we got, and now they trying to push off a carbon copy of him, Anthony Buckner. And see what you what you got now is what you're gonna continue to have if you put the wrong
Right.
person.
You're 100% right.
Yeah.
You're 100% right. If
Yeah.
you don't bring somebody new in, you don't get somebody new in there, the same old crap gonna keep going, coming around.
Yeah,
Same
all
old
the
crap.
time. Somebody said
Correct.
once, George, when you know better, you're supposed to do better.
You're supposed to do better.
But
You're supposed to do better.
but we ain't getting no do better politicians or leaders in this city.
That's the problem. And but not, and you just don't have the. We don't have the. It's just not enough. You got to have some fresh people here.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm telling you, there's so many people have an R9 number. I mean, it's a shame. You can't find no decent people.
Yeah.
And ones that don't use drugs.
Yeah,
You know.
that's true. Well, one thing about it, what do you think is this? I'm gonna let you go after this. What do you think about the pay? Do you think we would get a better clientele in law enforcement, where Paul Young decided that he wasn't going to honor his the union negotiation of 5%? He only want to give them 3%. And then these people who are being well trained by the PD and the sheriff department, they go off to another state that's paying big money.
There you go. They
And
get that experience here.
yeah, they go do 25 years there, come back here and live like a king.
That's right.
But we want to buy hotels, George. We want to do everything else but pay the first responders. You know, these people are putting their lives on the line for you, and you don't want to do anything to pay them a decent. Man, it don't make sense. Mm.
That sheriff, if he should wake up. He should wake up. The light bulb should come on.
He don't care, man.
More people.
He got his pension done, Doc. He gonna sit back and draw over $100,000 a year. He had 2 terms. He's not concerned about it. He's been there almost 30, 40 years. He gonna sit back. He's gonna relax Floyd Bonner off of the taxpayers' dollar because the taxpayers didn't pay attention. And now, not only him, you got a lot of other administrators, elected officials who are sitting back, as I said earlier, and they just enjoying life because we didn't pay attention. George, I appreciate you, huh?
All right, man. Give me a call when you get off.
I definitely do that, and I'm gonna have you to come in here and anchor with me one day.
That sounds good.
All right, take care.
Yeah.
All right, take care.
Yeah.
All right, you've been listening to Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil. I'm Jennings Bernard, your host, and that was a good friend of mine, George, and a neighbor. He called me. I want to see what he wanted to know, if me and the wife gonna do anything for Thanksgiving. And I appreciate him calling and asking me that question. And I love talking to Mr. George because we have some lively debates. And this is what I'm saying that you ought to do in your neighborhood. You need to have these lively debates like Mr. George and I have to make a difference in your community. Get with your neighbors, talk about them, talk to them about this situation. And when you talk to them about the situation, y'all get together as a group, get you some captains in your local wards and precincts, and say, listen, we gonna do this thing like New Chicago did it. And I take my hat off if I had one on. Take it off to New Chicago. New Chicago stood tall. They stood strong. And they told them, listen, you bring that 201 Poplar over here where this old Firestone station is, over here in New Chicago, and we used to call it Scudderfield. We gonna remember you come election day. And see, the thing about politicians, You have to have a threat, as Mr. George said. You have to show threats to these so-called leaders. Threats mean doing exactly what New Chicago did. And they went down there and told them, okay, you vote to put that over here. And we're going to show you what we're going to do. Hey, and that's what we should do. I'm Jennings Bernard, your host, and it's been a ball, y'all, to sit here and talk to you. And I appreciate Mr. George calling in and all of you all listening. You know, I want you to subscribe to Facebook if you appreciate what we're doing. I need you to subscribe under this video. It'll be posted. You can do it right now and subscribe if you enjoy what we're doing, what we are bringing to you, and the conversation, because there's many more to come. Please subscribe, all of you all that listen to this. I don't care where you're at in this country. If you listen to it, push that subscribe button. And to go a little further, go over to memphisrealtalk.com. That's one word, memphisrealtalk.com. Go over to the donation page and you'll see it. Push the donation button down there and make a donation. No matter how small it is, it can be $1 or it can be whatever you want to be higher. We would appreciate it because we're going to make a difference in what we do for you in this city. I'm Jennings Bernard. We really do appreciate you. In the words of my grandmother, she always said, if it's the Lord's will and the creek don't rise, we'll see you on tomorrow. But remember what I said. Trust everyone, but do not trust the devil inside of them. Peace. Y'all take care.